So hey guys, so welcome to another video, and while I'm waiting for the next Warframe update, which I think is coming out this week, I'm not sure but I think it is, and also the Ringed City DLC for Dark Souls 3, which is the second and probably last DLC, I thought I would finally delve into Dark Souls PvP, because I've played Dark Souls 1, never did any PvP in that, Dark Souls 2 the same thing, and in Dark Souls 3 I've been kind of getting into it a little bit just to get some items from the Covenant, so I did a couple of invasions, but I was never really into just invading people for the sake of invading them, you know, just to PvP. I was usually just there to get a Covenant item so I can rank up, and that was about it. However, while I was farming items for the Aldrich Faithful Covenant, I had a lot of fun because I got summoned into the weirdest situations. It was usually just me and one or two other invaders versus like a host and two summons, and it was this massive cluster truck near the giants. And I also wanted to get a little bit more time out of the Ashes of Ariandel DLC because that did add a PvP arena, because otherwise the DLC was a little bit too short for me. I did everything, killed both of the bosses, and it took me about 5 hours, and I did explore absolutely everything and got all the items. Now the weird thing though is that even though I never enjoyed invading people and fighting people on purpose, I always enjoyed getting invaded, because for me it's this sudden rush of adrenaline, you know, of having another player in your game and he's trying to kill you. And I've especially enjoyed it on New Game Plus because I started with 15 charges of Estus, which is more than enough to get through any of the areas in the game and kill the boss, especially with the gear you have from, you know, the original playthrough. And it can often result in some funny moments, and yes, I am the one invading here, but I've invaded a dude that looks like a pope and beats the shit out of me with boxing gloves in a second. I'm not very good at PvP, by the way, as you may have noticed already. Now, before I moved on to the arena, though, I had about 30 cracked red eye orbs. I unfortunately didn't do the quest, so I don't have a whole red eye orb. But I thought, hey, you know, might as well use them. So I was just inviting random people, and I started off in the Ashes of Ariandel areas, which was quite disheartening because the first person that I invaded was invincible. The second person was flying about 50 meters in the air. When I invaded the third person, I got disconnected. And the fourth person, as soon as I loaded in, I got teleported off a cliff and died. Though that may have been a glitch because I have no idea how a person would actually teleport you off a cliff. I don't know. And every single invasion I got after that was a host and either one or two summons. So I got decimated every single time because for me it's hard enough fighting one-on-one because I don't know the player movesets. I don't know when to dodge, when to attack, and when to cast spells. And when there is like 2 or even 3 of them all just swarming me and attacking at the same time, and there's a Havel monster at the front with a massive shield, yeah, there's no way I'm killing them. So after about 15 invasions, I left the painted world of Ariandel and I started invading at random bonfires. I would just pick a random bonfire and invade there. And surprise, surprise, I got decimated once again, even in one-on-one fights. But I think I figured out what was the main issue with the way I was fighting people. I was either too aggressive and I would just run out of stamina, then I would get spammed to death, whether it was with a scythe or with a sword or whatever, or I would be too defensive and I would allow the host to heal over and over and over again, so I was never able to do enough damage to kill them. Then I would make a mistake and they would kill me. And that was basically every invasion. Here I was trying to be a little bit cheeky because he did get a helping hand in the form of a blue summon, so I was trying to lure them up here so maybe the dragon would hit them. But I just got backed into the corner and killed with what I think is the scythe you get from the boss from the Ashes of Ariandel DLC right here. I just get stun locked in the corner and I get decimated with the scythe. I honestly don't know what to do against attacks like this, these crazy multi-hit combos. Well, for one, you know, not getting stuck in a corner would probably be a great start, but I honestly don't know what to do. The only thing that comes to mind is to just run away because it hits way too many times for me to reasonably dodge through them. So I really don't know. I really don't like these multi-hit combos, even on bosses in PvE, because it's just like, okay, I'm now gonna swing 11 times in a row, so get dodging, mate, because every single hit will cost you about 50% of your health. Here I had a decent start. I got a nice bit of damage onto the host, even though it was kind of scumbagish because I just ran out of the door, you know, swinging. But here you can see how unfamiliar I am with the player movesets, because here he uses the special attack of the spear, which is a lightning strike, and I just have no idea what the timing of it is, so I get hit twice in a row and die. This invasion right here was probably my worst, but I do know what I did wrong, so at least I know what I have to watch out for. Here, instead of stabbing him with the Bestock, I started casting out the Soul Spear, so I took a lot of damage, but I was also able to do a lot of damage with the Bestock. Over here, I swapped to the Great Soul Arrow, hoping that he would think I would still cast Soul Spear so he wouldn't roll away, which he didn't. Now after that, I swapped to my shield and I thought, okay, I'm far more comfortable fighting in melee, so let's fight here. But I dropped my guard for just a second, which allowed him to stagger me. I lost all my stamina and he was able to spam me down once again. I also found a very weird thing when I was trying to get an invasion in Erethel. My affinity would just fly towards the side of the bridge. I have no idea why, and it would do it every single time. But anyway, I wasn't able to get any invasions there, so I moved on to the arena. And the first dude I fight is this random-ass pyromancer that just keeps running up and down this tower. I think he was hoping for a melee opponent because some of the pyromancies that I've seen have a really big area of effect, so maybe if you're like a melee player and you're trying to run up to him on top of the tower, you don't have a lot of space to dodge, maybe? I really don't know. And guess what? I load into the next arena and it's the same dude. Now, as I was playing more and more arenas, I was kind of starting to get the idea of how to fight, and one thing that I found that worked pretty well as a sorcerer at least, was switching between the Great Pharaon Dart, the Great Heavy Soul Arrow, and Crystal Soul Spear, because they have very different cast times. So if I would open with like the Great Heavy Soul Arrow or even the Pharaon Dart, and then I would switch to the Soul Spear, the opponent would sometimes dodge too early, not expecting the Soul Arrow, which would lead to them getting hit by the Soul Arrow. I was also slowly starting to get the idea of offense and defense, you know, when to run in and attack and when to cast and when to roll away and run. And towards the end, which was like an hour or two of arenas, I actually managed to kill some people in a proper 1v1 fight, which felt pretty good. And it wasn't just a lucky Soul Spear hit that I got twice in a row because the enemy didn't dodge on time. I was actually swapping between my spells, faking cast, and I was even using the weapon art from the best dog, which is a very nice dash. So all in all, I really enjoyed my first proper PvP session in Dark Souls. I did about 25-ish invasions, I think, and then I did about an hour or two of the arena. And it was really fun. I actually want to go back and do more PvP, whether it is invasions or arenas, though I am running low on cracked red eye orb. So on the next New Game Plus, I guess I will have to finish the quest to get the whole one. And I think I've been rambling for long enough, so I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.